Alright guys, so the ZR1 is really cool. It's a really awesome car. I absolutely love the C7 platform, but there's a problem with this one. It's too freaking loud. What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog, and welcome back to another video on the C7 Corvette ZR1. If you're wondering what I meant in the beginning by this being too loud, yeah, let's talk about it. Alright guys, so the C7 Corvette ZR1 is absolutely my favorite Corvette. Out of all of the Corvettes I own, this has always been the one that has my heart the most, but I've noticed something recently with traveling any distances. This is too loud. Now I know what a lot of you are out there are going to say, but Justin, you have the AWE exhaust system. Doesn't that just make it louder than stock? Yes, but I'm not actually talking about the exhaust. The exhaust sounds fantastic. I love AWE. They make a fantastic looking and sounding exhaust, and of course, I am definitely pro AWE for the C7 and the C8, but in this case, we're not talking about the exhaust, we're talking about the tires. Now, for those of you out there who don't know, the C7 Corvette ZR1 has 3 35 wide tires in the rear and 2 85 width tires in the front. Now, what that means is there's a lot of rubber between you and the road. There's a lot of contact patch and there's a lot of noise. So these tires can really make some serious noise depending on the kind of pavement you're on. So right off the bat, I've noticed concrete is probably the worst. So if you're on any kind of concrete highway or something that hasn't been freshly asphalted, these tires are just humming the entire time. Now, it's not that big of a deal. I'll be honest with you. It's not a huge deal, but there is somewhat of a solution. So my friends over at TKO Performance, you guys may know him as Ed, he has sent me what can only be described as a solution for road trip noise. That's the best way to put it. So basically, you want these cars to be loud. You want to hear that exhaust. You want to hear some of the driving aspects of the car, but there's a really easy fix to kind of bring that all down just a hair for any of you out there who do any kind of road tripping in these cars. Now, me personally, I take this car often from Pittsburgh to Harrisburg area, and that's about a 3-hour drive. And a lot of that time is spent at 70 to 75 miles an hour consistently, so it starts to get a little old after a while. Now, again, to be clear, I'm not really talking about the exhaust. The exhaust sound never gets tiring, but the humming and the constant droning of the tires on the pavement is a little bit much, and there's an easy fix. So like I said, the guys over at TKO Performance are the same ones who brought us the Attack Blue air filters, which I have used in the ZR1 and am currently using in the C8 Corvette. But this solution is much more simple. So this is it right here. This is called Blockit. Now what this will do is actually sit in the cargo area of the C7 Corvette, and then the smaller pieces that come with the Blockit, which is right here and right there, they will actually go behind the seats of the C7 Corvette. Now what these are extremely thick foam. Now of course there's a patent on all this stuff, so I don't know exactly what they're made out of, but I do know this: they help bring down the noise. Now the majority of the noise is going to come through the rear of the C7 just because that's where these gigantic 335 width tires are. Now because of the placement, it is going to knock down the sound of the exhaust a little bit, but we're going to see how much, because I don't really want to change the tone of this exhaust. Like I said, I absolutely love AWE, but the tire noise could be knocked down a little bit. That's what we're going to be doing today. So there's not going to be a huge install to these, but I am going to show you how to do it, because these actually sit on top of the stock mat, and as you can see, actually have the little cuts there for your cargo net hooks as well. So this is very well engineered. These feel like really good quality stuff. As usual, TKO Performance knocking it out of the freaking park with their products. I am going to take these, if they meet my requirements, I'm going to actually sell these on my website as well, because Ed and I have a really good arrangement. We have a really good relationship formed, and the products that he makes, I absolutely freaking love typically. So if this meets my standards, it will be on my website as well. And I'll be honest with you, if it doesn't meet my standards, you're not even going to see this video. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. If the video is out, I definitely feel that that product is going to help the average driver or user of the C7 Corvette. All of the products on my website are only there because I believe in what they do. So the TKO Performance Attack Blue air filters have proven themselves time and time again on the dyno, on the reusability feature, and the fact that they're made in America. It's all good stuff. So it is on my website. You have seen the videos for that because I believe in that product. I'll be honest with you guys, I get emails on a daily basis from companies that want me to do things with their products, to advertise them and push them out to you guys. And a lot of times they send me the product and it's not very good. I'll put it to you that way. And if it's not good, I'm not going to release a video on it, and I'm certainly not selling it on my website. So if you go to my website and you buy any of the products for the C7 or the C8, you can rest assured they are products that I personally use and I personally love. But anyway, guys, it is getting a little bit dark here in PA, so what we're gonna do is fast forward to tomorrow, where I'm gonna take this car out for a drive so you can hear the ambient noise factor that I'm kind of talking about. Then we're gonna put the Blockit in, and then we're gonna take another ride and see if there is a discernible difference between the two. Something tells me right off the bat, the GoPro is not gonna be the best at picking up the difference here, but I will do my best to show you and obviously be 100% honest as to whether or not this product is doing what it should. And this product sells very well, so I'm sure it's true that this stuff really does work, and it really just helps take the edge off. Now, like I said, we don't want a silent experience in the C7 by any means, but this is definitely going to help make it a little more daily driver friendly. So anyway, we're going to fast forward to tomorrow right now.
The next day.
All right, guys, so we are on a concrete highway going about 68 miles an hour in 6th gear before we add the Blockit, and this is the ambient noise. So you can hear the tires in the rear, especially on the concrete, but we're going to add the Blockit and go on the same road at about the same speed and see if it's audible on the GoPro. I don't think the GoPro is going to pick it up, but I will be honest with you guys and let you know if I hear or feel anything in person. So let's go ahead and install the Blockit. So we are back from the initial test drive to see how much noise was being created back here. And in order to get this car ready for the Blockit, all you really have to do is remove the two-piece shade thing here. If you don't have that, then you don't have to remove anything, but that's it. That's all that has to come out. And then the Blockit will just sit on top of this back here, actually having a cutout for the rings for that shade right up front. So you can put this back in afterwards if you want. So it's obviously in place here. You can't really even tell a difference for the most part. It looks pretty much the same color as the stock carpet in there. So if it actually makes a difference, it will look decent in the car. Now, I talked to the owner and the manufacturer of this stuff, Ed, over at TKO Performance, and he told me not to put any kind of rubber mat on top of this. So if you have like a WeatherTech mat or something, you don't want that going on top of this because of its design. It has rubber in between the pieces of foam that's supposed to cancel out noise. And if you put another piece of rubber on top of it, it will just kind of bounce around in there apparently. But if you have a Lloyd's mat, one that says ZR1 or Z06 or something on it, you can put that in there. The Z06 factory trunk carpet can go on top of this as well. In my case, I don't have anything to go on top of it, so this is the way it would stay. We're going to see if this makes a difference just like this. If it does, I might get the Lloyd's mat that says ZR1 or something just to kind of dress it up a little bit more. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and put the shade back in, and then we're going to put the other two pieces behind the seats up front to see how much of a difference all this stuff will make. And this is what I was talking about with the foam and then the real thick rubber and then the foam again. So this is kind of like three separate pieces, relatively thick, maybe a little over an inch thick. And this is what is really canceling out that sound. Now this little piece right here is one of the parts that goes up front, and this thing probably weighs 1.5 pounds. It's not real light. And then this stuff in the rear here is probably around 6 to 8 pounds. So it's pretty heavy. It's on the heavier side, but at the same time, for how big it is, it's not really that heavy. This kind of factors into what it's doing. Because it's going to help cancel out some sound waves, it's got to be a little thicker, it's got to be a little bit heavier, but it's not enough to really say, wait a second, that's going to affect the performance of my car. We're talking about way less than 10 pounds here all in. All right, so on the passenger side seat, we have the back forward and the seat moved forward a little bit. The piece is literally just going to sit in there between the seat and the carpet itself. So just put it in angled like that, slide it down until it hits the bottom, and that's it. We'll just put the seat back, and that's all we got to do. So driver's side, same kind of thing. We're just going to slip it in between the seat and the carpeted back there, and that's pretty much it. We'll just move the seat back into place. After the seat's in place, you really can't see it at all unless you're really looking for it. It's barely visible once both seats are back. All right, so with both sides installed, from the side here you can barely see it right there, and from here that's all you can really see. So it's not super visible, and honestly I could tuck it down in there even further if I had to, but at the end of the day this stuff's not real visible, and if it does what it says it's supposed to do, then it's a pretty big win as far as I'm concerned. So let's go test this out. All right guys, so here we are after the mat has been added to the trunk and behind the seats. We're going on the same route, about the same speed. Yeah, I don't know how well it's going to come through on camera, but it definitely sounds different, and it does exactly what I was told it would do. It takes the edge off. So I can still hear my exhaust, I can still hear the road. It's just slightly quieter. I'll let you hear. Notice in the video if it has made a difference on video until I go to edit this one, but I can tell a difference in person, guys. It's kind of hard to explain. It's difficult to fully comprehend, I guess, exactly what it's doing, but it does take the edge off. So basically things are less crisp, I guess, less sharp, I should say. So the sounds are still there, they're just not as annoying, I should say. So yeah, I think this is a win. I'm going to go ahead and list this on the website. It is definitely something I would do, especially if you do daily drive your C7, or even if you're just taking on the occasional road trip. I can see the benefit of this. Now, just so you guys know, a lot of these parts and things that I sell on my website are actually made by a different company. So TKO Performance is the one that actually makes this one called Blockit. Now, they're also the ones that make the Attack Blue air filters and a couple different things I sell on my website. A lot of the stuff that they make is it's kind of something you want for your C7 or C8 that you don't really even realize you need just yet. So they're also the ones that make the heat mat for the C8 as well, and you guys can watch that video. I'll link in the top right of this one. It actually reduced the heat of the trunk on the C8 by a fair amount, and this is built on that same kind of technology. So yeah, like I said, link in the description below if you guys are interested in trying it out. I give it a big thumbs up. It definitely does what they say it will do. It doesn't really add any weight to the car. It doesn't take away any functionality to the car, so it's definitely a big win as far as I'm concerned.